Today, we are going to talk about one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, Epictetus. He left us valuable lessons about acceptance and control that are extremely relevant even today. Born into slavery around the year 50 AD, in Hierapolis, in present-day Turkey, Epictetus found his freedom through philosophy. He lived in Rome for many years, where he studied and taught Stoicism, until he was exiled by Emperor Domitian. After his exile, Epictetus founded a school of philosophy in Nicopolis, Greece, where he continued to teach until the end of his life. The historical context in which Epictetus lived was marked by political and social turmoil, which made his teachings even more relevant. Stoicism, a philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium in the 3rd century BC, emphasizes the importance of living in accordance with nature and reason, accepting what we cannot change and focusing on what is within our control. Epictetus, with his humble origins and dedication to philosophy, exemplified these principles in his life and work. Welcome to our channel. If you're new here, our channel is dedicated to Stoicism and its practices for dealing with anxiety, mental health, depression, relationships, and more. If you enjoy this type of content, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Let's go! Epictetus didn't write any books. His teachings were recorded by his student Arian in two main works, the Discourses and the Enchiridion, Handbook. These texts condense Epictetus' practical wisdom, offering advice on how to live a virtuous and balanced life. The Enchiridion, in particular, has become a widely read and revered practical guide, influencing thinkers and leaders throughout the centuries. In this video, we'll explore Epictetus' lessons on acceptance and control, and how these teachings can be applied to our modern lives. We will understand the dichotomy of control, the importance of radical acceptance, and how daily practices recommended by Epictetus can help us develop resilience and inner peace. We will also learn about true freedom and how our perceptions shape our reality. Epictetus offers us a way of living that transcends time and circumstances, showing us that, regardless of our external conditions, we can find freedom and happiness within ourselves. Let's begin this journey of self-discovery and transformation through Epictetus' timeless lessons. The Enchiridion, also known as the Handbook of Epictetus, is a work that brings together the philosopher's main practical teachings. Although Epictetus did not write any books, his student Arian compiled his teachings into two main works, the Discourses and the Enchiridion. The Enchiridion is a concise and straight-to-the-point guide intended to guide Stoic practice in everyday life. The Enchiridion is structured in the form of aphorisms, each addressing an important aspect of Stoicism. Among the most prominent themes are the dichotomy of control, the importance of reason, acceptance of fate, and the practice of virtue. This manual has become essential reading for those who wish to live according to Stoic principles, providing a solid foundation for reflection and action. One of the main lessons of the Enchiridion is the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus emphasizes that we should focus our energies on the things we can control, such as our own thoughts, actions, and reactions, and calmly accept what is beyond our control, such as external events and the opinions of others. This dichotomy of control is a recurring and fundamental theme in Epictetus' work. Another important lesson is the practice of radical acceptance. Epictetus teaches us to accept life as it is, without resisting or trying to change what we cannot control. He argues that by accepting our fate, we find inner peace and true freedom. This acceptance is not resignation, but rather a proactive attitude of living in harmony with nature and reason. The Enchiridion also highlights the importance of virtue as the path to happiness. For Epictetus, living according to virtue means acting with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. The constant practice of these virtues guides us to a balanced and fulfilling life, regardless of external circumstances. In short, Epictetus' Enchiridion is a masterpiece of Stoicism that offers practical guidance for living according to Stoic philosophy. Its timeless teachings continue to inspire and guide those who seek a virtuous and meaningful life. The dichotomy of control is one of the central concepts in Epictetus' teachings and a cornerstone of Stoicism. This principle teaches us to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not, focusing our energies and efforts only on those things that we can influence. Epictetus explains that what is within our control includes our own actions, thoughts, and reactions. In other words, we can control how we choose to respond to life's events and circumstances. For example, we can control our reaction to criticism by choosing to accept it calmly and reflect on it, rather than reacting impulsively in anger. On the other hand, many things are not within our control, such as the opinions and actions of others, the weather, and unpredictable external events. Struggling to control these things is a common source of frustration and suffering. Epictetus teaches us to accept these aspects of life with equanimity, recognizing that it is futile to fight against the inevitable. To apply the dichotomy of control in practice, Epictetus suggests regularly reflecting on the events of the day and mentally separating what was and wasn't under our control. This allows us to focus our energies on the areas where we can truly make a difference, rather than wasting them on unproductive worries. For example, imagine that you are stuck in heavy traffic on your way to work. Instead of stressing about being late, something that is not under your control, you could choose to use that time productively, perhaps by listening to an interesting audiobook or podcast, something that is within your control. Radical acceptance is a key concept in the teachings of Epictetus and Stoicism as a whole. It teaches us to accept life as it is, without resisting or trying to change what is beyond our control. This acceptance is not resignation, but rather a proactive attitude of living in harmony with nature and reason. Radical acceptance begins with the recognition that many things in life are beyond our control. These events include the actions and opinions of others, the past, and even certain present circumstances. By accepting these realities, we can avoid the unnecessary suffering that comes from fighting the inevitable. Epictetus teaches us that radical acceptance is a path to inner peace. When we accept what we cannot change, we free our minds from worry and stress. This allows us to focus our energies on areas where we can truly make a difference, such as our own actions and reactions. For example, instead of worrying about a coworker's behavior, we can focus on how we react to that behavior, while remaining calm and composed. Practicing radical acceptance involves daily reflection and self-observation. Epictetus suggests that we question our emotional reactions. Am I reacting to something I can control, or to something that is beyond my control? By making this distinction, we can adjust our responses accordingly. In addition, radical acceptance helps us embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth. By accepting hardship as a part of life, we develop resilience and inner strength. We can begin to see each challenge as a lesson, an opportunity to practice virtue and wisdom. Epictetus emphasizes that self-control is an essential virtue for living a virtuous life. Self-control allows us to control our impulses and emotions, acting in accordance with reason and Stoic principles. For Epictetus, self-control is the foundation for all other virtues, such as wisdom, justice, and courage. One of Epictetus' main lessons is that by controlling our desires and aversions, we can achieve true freedom. He teaches that we should not allow external circumstances or emotions to dominate us. Instead, we should maintain calm and clarity of mind, even in challenging situations. This allows us to make rational and ethical decisions that are aligned with our values and principles. Practicing self-control involves self-observation and constant reflection. Epictetus suggests that we examine our thoughts and actions daily, asking ourselves whether we are acting in accordance with reason or whether we are being guided by irrational impulses. This process of self-examination helps us identify areas in which we need to improve and develop greater self-awareness. Meditation is a practice recommended by Epictetus to strengthen self-control. During meditation, we can reflect on our emotional reactions and develop the ability to respond calmly and rationally, rather than reacting impulsively. Regular meditation practice helps us internalize Stoic principles and apply self-control in all areas of life. Furthermore, Epictetus teaches us to face adversity with courage and resilience, using self-control to maintain serenity and inner strength. By practicing self-control, we can transform challenges into opportunities for personal growth and development. Harmony with nature is a central concept in the teachings of Epictetus and Stoicism. For the Stoics, living in accordance with nature means aligning our actions and thoughts with the natural order of the world and with our own inner nature. This helps us find peace and balance in all circumstances. Epictetus emphasizes that to live in harmony with nature, we must accept reality as it is, without trying to shape it according to our desires and expectations. Accepting the nature of the world and our own human nature allows us to act more rationally and in line with our values. For example, recognizing our limitations and working within them helps us avoid frustration and focus on what we can truly control. Furthermore, living in accordance with nature involves the practice of virtue. For Epictetus, virtue is moral excellence and the path to true happiness. This includes acting with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control, in alignment with our rational nature. By practicing these virtues, we find an inner harmony that reflects the natural order of the world. Simplicity is also an important part of living in harmony with nature. Epictetus teaches us to let go of material excesses and unnecessary ambitions, focusing on what is essential and genuinely important. This allows us to lead a more authentic and meaningful life, free from distractions and superficialities. Practicing gratitude is another way to live in harmony with nature. By recognizing and appreciating the blessings and opportunities that life offers us, we develop a mindset of abundance and contentment. This helps us face adversity with a positive attitude and find joy in the little things. Epictetus teaches us that facing adversity is a part of life and that we must learn to deal with it with serenity and resilience. He believed that adversity is an opportunity to practice the Stoic virtues and strengthen our character. One of Epictetus's key lessons is that we cannot control external events, but we can control our reactions to them. This means that when we face difficulties, we should focus on our attitudes and actions rather than trying to change the circumstances. For example, if we lose a job, we can choose to see this as an opportunity to seek new paths and develop new skills, rather than letting the situation get us down. Epictetus also teaches us the importance of acceptance. Accepting adversity as a part of life allows us to face challenges with more calm and clarity. By accepting what we cannot change, we find the inner strength to deal with difficulties more effectively. The practice of radical acceptance, discussed earlier, is a powerful tool for developing this skill. Another valuable technique is negative visualization, where we imagine possible negative scenarios that could occur. This is not to create anxiety, but to prepare the mind to face these situations with calm and resilience. By practicing negative visualization, we can become more prepared and less susceptible to shock when adversity arises. Epictetus encourages us to view adversity as an opportunity for growth. He argues that by facing challenges, we have the opportunity to practice virtue and become better people. Each challenge is a lesson that helps us develop wisdom, courage, and self-control. In addition, the support of a community is essential to dealing with adversity. Stoics value interpersonal relationships and believe that we can find strength and support in our connections with others. Sharing experiences and seeking advice from trusted people helps us face adversity with greater courage and hope. Epictetus believed that daily and consistent practice of Stoic principles is essential to internalizing the philosophy and living according to its teachings. He recommended several exercises and daily reflections that we can incorporate into our routine to cultivate inner peace, resilience, and virtue. One of the practices most recommended by Epictetus is morning meditation. He suggested starting the day by reflecting on the challenges we might face and how we could approach them calmly and rationally. This mentally prepares us for adversity and helps us maintain serenity throughout the day. During this meditation, we can also reinforce Stoic principles, reminding ourselves of the dichotomy of control and the importance of accepting what we cannot change. Nighttime meditation is equally important. At the end of the day, we can reflect on our actions and thoughts, assessing whether we acted in accordance with reason and virtue. Epictetus encourages us to ask ourselves, was I guided by wisdom and reason today? This daily self-assessment helps us identify areas for improvement and promotes continued personal growth. Another valuable practice is negative visualization. By imagining possible negative scenarios that could occur, we prepare our minds to face these situations with serenity and resilience. For example, thinking about how we would react if we lost a valuable object or if something unexpected happened at work helps us develop a more balanced attitude and less susceptible to shock when adversity arises. Keeping a Stoic journal is a great way to record our daily experiences, thoughts, and reflections. In the journal, we can write about times when we applied Stoic principles and times when we did not. This helps us maintain self-awareness and track our progress over time. Gratitude exercises are another essential practice recommended by Epictetus. By taking a moment each day to reflect on the things we are grateful for, we cultivate a positive mindset and become more appreciative of what we have. Gratitude helps us combat negativity and focus on the good in our lives. Finally, the practice of detachment is crucial to living according to Stoic principles. We must let go of material possessions and expectations, reminding ourselves that nothing is permanent and that true happiness does not depend on possessions or external circumstances. By practicing detachment, we develop the ability to appreciate the present without clinging to the future or the past. These daily practices are powerful tools for internalizing Epictetus' teachings and living according to reason and virtue. With practice and consistency, we can transform our lives and face challenges with a Stoic mindset. For Epictetus, reason and wisdom are essential elements of a virtuous and balanced life. He believed that reason is what sets us apart from animals and allows us to live in accordance with nature. Through reason, we can discern between what is good, bad, and indifferent, and make decisions based on logic and an understanding of the nature of things. Distinguishing between irrational impulses and rational decisions is a constant exercise for the Stoics. Often, our emotions and desires can lead us to act impulsively and irrationally. However, by cultivating reason, we can learn to pause and reflect before acting. For example, when faced with an emotionally charged situation, we can use reason to objectively assess the situation and choose the best response. The constant practice of reason helps us develop a sense of purpose and direction in life. By understanding our true needs and values, we can align our actions with our highest goals. This allows us to live more authentically and fulfilling lives. In addition, reason empowers us to deal with challenges and adversities with greater resilience. Instead of being dominated by fears and worries, we can use reason to analyze problems logically and find effective solutions. Reason gives us the strength to face difficulties with courage and serenity. Epictetus also emphasizes the importance of wisdom, which is the practical application of reason. Wisdom enables us to make fair and ethical decisions, guided by a deep understanding of the nature of things. By practicing wisdom, we can live in accordance with our values and virtues, finding inner peace and balance. To better understand Epictetus' lessons on acceptance and control, it is helpful to explore practical examples of how to apply these principles in everyday life. These examples show us how Stoic lessons can be implemented in everyday situations, promoting a more balanced and serene life. Imagine you're in a work meeting and you receive unexpected criticism from a colleague. Your first reaction might be defensiveness or frustration. However, by applying the dichotomy of control, you can choose to focus on your reaction, which is within your control, rather than worrying about your colleague's opinion, which is not. Accepting criticism calmly and reflecting on it rationally can turn the situation into an opportunity for personal and professional growth. Another practical example is dealing with heavy traffic. Instead of stressing about being late, which is beyond your control, you can choose to use the time productively, such as listening to an audiobook or reflecting on your day. This approach not only reduces stress, but also turns a potentially negative experience into a positive one. In personal relationships, acceptance and control also play a crucial role. For example, if you're facing a conflict with a friend or family member, it's important to recognize that you can't control their actions or feelings. Instead of trying to change the other person, focus on how you can respond in a balanced and compassionate way. Practicing empathy and honest communication can help resolve conflicts and strengthen relationships. The practice of acceptance also applies to more significant situations, such as the loss of a loved one. While we cannot control death, we can control how we deal with grief. Accepting the impermanence of life, a fundamental lesson of Stoicism, helps us find peace and continue to live meaningfully even after a loss. These practical examples demonstrate how Epictetus' lessons on acceptance and control can be applied to different areas of life, helping us face challenges with equanimity and live more fully and authentically. Epictetus devoted a significant portion of his teachings to reflecting on mortality, a practice that may seem uncomfortable but is deeply liberating and enriching. For Epictetus, constantly reminding ourselves of death, a concept known as memento mori, helps us value life and live more fully and intentionally. Epictetus argued that awareness of our mortality allows us to focus on what truly matters and live according to our deepest values. By accepting the inevitability of death, we can reduce our fears and anxieties about the future by focusing on the present and enjoying each moment. This acceptance gives us the courage to make bold decisions and live authentically, without being paralyzed by fear of the unknown. Practicing memento mori also helps us maintain a balanced perspective on our daily problems and concerns. Many of the things that cause us stress and anxiety are actually insignificant compared to the vastness of life and the inevitability of death. By remembering our mortality, we can learn to let go of trivialities and focus on what truly adds value to our lives. In addition, reflecting on death teaches us to value relationships and human connections. Knowing that our time is limited encourages us to cultivate meaningful connections and express our love and appreciation for the people around us. This fosters a sense of urgency to live fully and seize every opportunity to share precious moments with those we love. Epictetus teaches us that Stoic principles can significantly transform our interpersonal relationships. Applying these teachings to interactions with others can improve the quality of our relationships and foster more harmonious coexistence. One of Epictetus' fundamental lessons is the practice of empathy. He encourages us to understand that all human beings share a common rationality and face their own internal struggles. Practicing empathy helps us understand the perspectives of others and act with compassion. When someone angers or disappoints us, it is helpful to remember that they are also dealing with their own challenges. This understanding allows us to respond with patience and kindness, rather than reactivity. Honest and respectful communication is another crucial aspect of interpersonal relationships according to Epictetus. He values clarity and sincerity in interactions, which does not mean being brutally honest, but expressing our thoughts and feelings in a constructive way. When we are honest in our communications, we avoid misunderstandings and build trust. For example, if we are facing a conflict with a friend, it is important to approach the situation in an open and respectful manner, expressing our feelings without blaming or judging the other person. Epictetus also teaches us the importance of acceptance and detachment in personal relationships. Too often, we hold on to unrealistic expectations of how others should act. Stoicism teaches us to accept people as they are, without trying to control or change them. This does not mean tolerating harmful behavior, but recognizing that each individual is responsible for their own actions. Accepting others as they are allows us to cultivate healthier and more authentic relationships. Epictetus teaches that our perceptions shape our reality and have a profound impact on how we experience the world. According to Epictetus, it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but rather our opinions about them. Therefore, changing our perceptions can transform our experience of life. Perception is the way we interpret and give meaning to the events that happen around us. We are often quick to judge a situation as good or bad, without considering that our perception may be distorted by emotions or biases. Epictetus encourages us to pause and reflect on our perceptions, asking ourselves if we are seeing things objectively and rationally. For example, imagine that you missed a flight due to a traffic delay. Initially, you may perceive this as a catastrophe and feel frustrated and anxious. However, by applying Epictetus' teachings, you can question this perception and consider a different perspective. Perhaps missing the flight avoided a bigger problem, or perhaps you could use the extra time to do something productive. By changing your perception, you are transforming a negative experience into an opportunity. Epictetus also highlights the importance of not allowing outside opinions to influence our perceptions. He teaches us to trust our own judgment and not to be swayed by the approval or disapproval of others. This helps us maintain a balanced perception and make decisions that are aligned with our values and principles. Practicing a change in perception involves self-observation and constant reflection. By questioning our interpretations and seeking a more objective view, we develop the ability to see things as they really are, rather than as they appear to be at first glance. Epictetus teaches us that true freedom is not determined by external circumstances, but by our internal attitude. He argues that true freedom comes from within and is achieved through control over our own thoughts and actions. This internal freedom is one of Epictetus' greatest lessons and a cornerstone of Stoicism. For Epictetus, being free means being unperturbed by external influences and maintaining serenity regardless of the circumstances. He believed that by controlling our reactions and attitudes, we can maintain our inner peace, even in adverse situations. For example, even though he lived as a slave, Epictetus found true freedom through philosophy and self-control. Epictetus teaches us that by practicing the dichotomy of control and focusing on what is within our control, we find inner freedom. This includes our opinions, judgments, desires, and aversions. When we learn to control these aspects of our lives, we become immune to disruptions caused by external events. In addition, inner freedom allows us to live in accordance with our values and virtues. When we are not influenced by fear, greed, or the approval of others, we can make more authentic decisions that are aligned with our principles. This freedom empowers us to live a fuller and more meaningful life. Epictetus also emphasizes that inner freedom is a daily choice. We must constantly monitor our thoughts and actions, ensuring that we are acting in accordance with reason and virtue. Regular practice of meditation and self-reflection helps us strengthen this freedom and maintain mental clarity. The Stoic practices taught by Epictetus have profound and proven psychological benefits. Applying the principles of Stoicism in our daily lives can significantly improve our mental health and emotional well-being, promoting a more balanced and resilient mind. One of the main benefits of Epictetus practices is the reduction of anxiety. The dichotomy of control teaches us to focus on what is within our control and to calmly accept what is not. By ceasing to worry about external and uncontrollable factors, we reduce our levels of stress and anxiety. This change of focus allows our mind to concentrate on the present and on what we can actually influence, relieving the pressure caused by unnecessary worries. Another important benefit is the improvement of emotional self-control. Practicing reason and wisdom, as Epictetus recommends, helps us to respond to situations in a calmer and more rational way. This allows us to avoid impulsive and uncontrolled reactions, promoting greater emotional stability. For example, when faced with conflict, we can use self-control to stay calm and resolve the situation constructively, instead of giving in to anger or frustration. The practice of gratitude, another recommendation from Epictetus, has a positive impact on our mental health. Taking a moment each day to reflect on what we are grateful for helps us cultivate a positive mindset and appreciate what we have more. Gratitude is associated with greater life satisfaction and a lower incidence of symptoms of depression. In addition, radical acceptance teaches us to better deal with adversity. By accepting life as it is and embracing difficulties as opportunities for growth, we develop greater resilience. This ability to face challenges with equanimity makes us stronger and more prepared to deal with life's ups and downs. Modern studies have shown that Stoic practices can be beneficial for mental health. Applying Epictetus principles to contemporary therapies, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, highlights the relevance and effectiveness of Stoic teachings. Thank you for watching our video on Epictetus and his lessons on acceptance and control. I hope you found the information useful and inspiring to apply Stoicism in your daily life. If you enjoyed this content and want to learn more about Stoicism and other practices to improve your mental health and well-being, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That way, you won't miss any of our upcoming videos and can continue your journey of growth and self-discovery with us. Like this video, share it with your friends and family, and leave a comment below telling us how you plan to apply Stoic principles in your life. We appreciate your support and hope to see you in future videos. See you next time.